my one like sort of guilty pleasure like normie podcast that I like watch sometimes is Your Mom's House. Whatever, Tom Segura and his wife, Christina, they were talking about SIBO on one of the episodes, because like whatever, SIBO's been on the show a couple times, and they were just like, yeah, I have no idea how he's still alive. Like his vocal cords have shrank. That's why now he talks like, I don't know if you've seen SIBO in the last like couple of years, but he talks
he's always talked like that.
No, but it's way worse now. It's like his vocal cords have shrank, and like he talk, and like so, and it struggles. It's like his throat is like trying to close up, right? Like he's literally like poisoned himself.
Well, and I don't know if it's because of drugs or what, but apparently he has some sort of drugs problem.
Well, yes, that came from drugs. Because his voice was like scratchy and shit, but it didn't sound like he was sucking on helium. You know what I'm saying? Like now it's weird, and I can't listen to it. Like that's the when you just started talking about SIBO, it's like I can't hear his voice because it's like nails on a chalkboard. It's like it makes my throat hurt listening to him talk. Like
according to his Wikipedia, it says that a lot of people, including himself, attributed it to his drug use. But after visiting a specialist, it's because of the way he uses his throat muscles when he talks. It's like it's struggling to let the vocal cords vibrate or something.
Yeah, now, I suppose that is, right? Like, it's like, yeah, how do you get to that point, right?
Apparently Joe Biden gave a Christmas speech.
Oh, Jesus.
And he was soon after compared to Satan because he did not mention the name Jesus in his speech, although he did reference Jesus several times.
What? He referenced Jesus, but that doesn't count?
He called him the Son of God. He mentioned the Son of God in the speech.
All right, get fucking Jesus, and that's Satan worthy.
Let me read this article from Indy 100.
Oh my God.
U.S. President Joe Biden has landed himself in hot water and Satan comparisons from Republicans and conservatives following his Christmas address.
I'm sorry,
because he failed to call Jesus by name.
Okay, before you go any further, Republicans and conservatives? What the fuck is that?
Well, it's capital R Republic. I guess it's like Republican.
Oh, Republicans and then conservatives.
Well, like Fox News people
don't belong.
I mean, Fox News is a very unbiased news source, so just
of course it is.
You know, he's not necessarily a Republican. Anyways, moving on. The 80-year-old's message.
80 years old.
They're talking about Biden. The 80-year-old's
message. I'm never gonna fucking stop. Nope. Anytime his age is mentioned, there has to at least be a pause.
Oh, say you see, by the dawn's
For how a moment of what do they call that, Jack?
A moment of fucking a moment of just brain deadening, like questioning, just the flies buzzing, right? 80-year-old president Joe Biden. Okay, sorry. 80-year. Okay, yeah, we have an 80-year-old president. I keep forgetting. Okay.
The 80-year-old's message, which mostly focused on the death of his first wife, Mila Hunter.
Oh, what a great Christmas say. Merry Christmas.
Didn't mention Jesus, but he instead referred to the biblical figure as the Son of God.
Who we all know is Jesus. Who else is the fucking, what is he talking about? The leader of the Taiping Rebellion? What the fuck? Why you?
And then he fucking, at the end of it, he basically describes the nativity scene.
Oh.
Like, so it's not like he's talking about Santa Claus and fucking gifts and shit. He's talking
Which
about.
he should. That's what he should do. He's the president.
Go out there and buy more gifts.
No, it's like, hey kids, listen. I know Santa personally. We grew up together. All right.
Yeah. He's from Delaware too.
I'm practically as old as Santa is. I was born in the North Pole. Listen.
Wait. This is a funny line here.
Oh, God.
On Newsmax, former Dukes of Hazzard actor John Schneider said, quote, you want me to run that back? On Newsmax, former Dukes of Hazzard actor.
This is who we're getting. This is
John
who we're
Schneider.
getting as commenters. The guy, like a fucking 70-year-old man who
God, must be 100 years old. When that popular? 60s? And he was like already 20, 30 or whatever.
Yeah, just
Jesus Christ.
All right, go ahead.
All right. He said, quote, this man has got to face his maker and explain why he can't say Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior and I will run my country under his guidelines.
Oh, yeah. Why can't he say that, I wonder? What are the several reasons why he can't say that? What else?
So, I have COVID.
Yes, you have COVID, making me, I think, the last person on Earth who never got it. But I guess
there's definitely still people. I know a couple people who haven't gotten it, but it's only a matter of time. You know, if it doesn't happen this winter, it will happen next winter, or it's going to be like a flu type thing. Everyone has had the flu at some point. You don't get it. Some people only get it once every 5-10 years. Some get it like every couple years. Just depends on your immune system and how much socializing you do with sick people and shit, I guess. But yeah, it's like it's gonna be one of those things now. And it's like you can get the vaccine or not, and whatever. At this point, I know a lot of shit ton of people are fucking dying in China right now because they have like zero immunity and.
Their
vaccines not that great, and so you have like they're easing up on the zero COVID policy, and so it kind of actually I think with this whole thing now you're kind of starting to see maybe like there's extremes on both ends as far as the lockdowns. One extreme being fuck lockdowns. We're going to be, everything's open, whatever. And then the other extreme of China doing the zero COVID policy. and then now lifting it up and realizing, well, now they're just dealing with 2020 2 years later. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's like there's a balance act to it, and I feel like the U.S. could have done better at it for sure. We were too much on the side of fuck lockdowns or whatever.
Right.
But at the same time, the localities that had the highest rates generally were doing some sort of lockdown or mask mandate or something at, the cities and stuff. But yeah, it's one of those things that's like, looking back, it's like there was no perfect answer. Everyone was feeling around in the dark. Nobody knew what the fuck they were doing. The whole idea of I guess the real reasoning, like when it comes down to it, for the lockdowns at all, was just not to overwhelm the hospitals, because it's like, yeah, people are going to get this virus eventually. It's just not overwhelming the hospitals is really what it came down to.
Right. When that's why, like, that's why it's the like, it's like, I don't wear like a mask anymore ever, right? Like like I feel like, all right, there's enough, and there's enough people, and there's enough, and my mom got it twice and didn't know either time, right? She was like, it was like, she got tested just like because they, whatever, it was like mandatory testing at like the hospital where my dad was, who got COVID from the hospital, by the way.
Yeah.
But, and so it was like, oh, you have COVID too. And my mom's like, I didn't feel any different. Like, it's like, I don't know what, like, I would have never known. Right. And I feel like that there's more people like that than anyone would like to admit now.
Well, there's that, but also I think that from what I've read, the vaccine, of course, you still have some of the antibodies or whatever after a while, but it does really wane on how effective it is over time. And I never got any boosters. So what I think maybe is I possibly was infected with COVID like a year ago, like not long after getting the vaccine, didn't have any symptoms or whatever. But now that my antibodies have kind of worn out over the last year or so, now this one's giving me more of like a cold. And it's honestly, it was bad enough to where I probably would have called out from work yesterday and maybe the day before, but I probably would have gone to work today if it was just a cold. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm still stuffy or whatever, but I felt I could have done a full day's worth of work and, somewhat sluggish the whole day or whatever, but not any different from me being, hungover or just normal. Have you heard about this new AI app or whatever called ChatGPT?
I just heard something about it today, but that's the first.
It came out like a week ago. It's already got more downloads than like Facebook or anything. Like it's going so crazy right now. I don't even know if it's something you can download. I signed up for it through a browser. But it's pretty crazy. Huh?
I'm gonna just, while you're talking about it, I'm gonna see if it's on the App Store.
Yeah, it's called ChatGPT. But I signed up for it today. I was kind of asking it some random questions, and it's amazing the responses you get. It's so much better than a Google search. Oh my God. Like, you search a Google search, you're wading through articles and fucking links and shit trying to find the answer you're looking for. This tells you fucking 7 answers and ranks them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, no, this is like the response. Like, this is the answer to whatever question and it can be creative too. One of the questions I asked it was about, I was like, if I wanted to make a concept album about something, what, you know, what would be what would be a good way to do it or something like that. And it started listing out all the different songs that would fit in with the topic of the concept album that I said. Like, and it was saying, you could have one song about this and one song about this. And it was like, Jesus Christ, this is like almost a handicap, like almost like a crutch.
It's cheating. Yeah,
it's almost cheating. But at the same time, I think it's almost going to be, it's going to be a weird, really weird next 10 years or so, I think, in the art world. Like, it's going to be weird with everything, but especially in the art world, people are going to be using AI to varying degrees to make art. And just like things like auto-tune and other shit like that, people are going to reject it at first and then eventually accept it as something that's just a tool. Obviously, if you tell AI to make an entire song, that's completely different from telling you like a concept for a song or a concept.
Yeah, well, no, and
but it will write a whole essay for you, like a high school level essay.
Yeah, no, that's the only thing that I heard about it was that somebody fucking wrote an essay, like some high school kid, like just popped an essay topic into the thing, and then and then the robot wrote it, and then they got like kicked out of school.
Yeah, there's been a few circumstances of this happening recently because, I mean, it literally just launched like a week ago. So there's obviously some of the earliest people to know what's going on is like teenagers because they're fucking glued to the internet.
Yeah, all right. It's real fast though. I just searched for that term on the Apple App Store, and just got there's 50 versions of this.
Well, so there's probably a bunch of people trying to capitalize on this shit right now. I would just go to the openai.com, sign up, or go to openai.com, and then you click it says try ChatGPT. You click it, then you create an account, and then you start chatting with it.
I'm not doing this. Because this is the thing, right? Is that as much as especially art is dead, because it is. I have a lot of friends who are whatever. I know somebody who draws comic books professionally, and I know there's just I know a couple of people who actually make money doing art, right? And they're this is theft, right? Because an AI that generates art is just scraping the internet and taking every photo and every photo of every artistic thing and every photo of every painting and literally everything that can be considered art, squishing it down and then trying to spit out the thing it thinks you want, right?
I get all that, and I'm not necessarily advocating for an app that just makes art, because that's not what this is at all. But I do think that this could be a way for us to break the sort of box that I feel like we've been in culturally for the past 40 years or so. It kind of feels like we really haven't transcended past the 80s as far as aesthetics in a lot of ways. It's kind of ebbed and flowed a little bit, but we're really just kind of staying in this 80s, 90s, 2000s buzz for the past 40 years. There's not really much in the past 20 years that is so much beyond what happened in the 20 years before. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like this could, and I'm talking about in artwork, I'm talking about in music, I'm talking about in film, all this kind of stuff. And I mean, I guess in film and TV, that's maybe not quite as, there's been a little bit more on the
Well, it's
back
like
end.
you're talking about, what you're talking about is like augmentation. Right?
Well,
It's like you're
what I'm coming down
AI
to, what I'm getting down to is eventually the AI generated artwork is going to get washed out, watered down, easy to identify as
Right.
such. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'll be like, oh, look at this fucking AI painting. Obviously, it's an AI painting or whatever. Like, real artwork made by real people will have to become something different that's distinguishable from that. And I think that might kind of force artists and creative people into getting more creative and finding something even outside of the box of what they're used to, because the AI is going to stay in the box.
All right. Although it still says it's starting over here. Okay. So first of all, the Tristero.
What?
This shirt, the muted post horn. This symbol, while I was reading the book that it came from, like broke through the veil. The book came out in 1968, and while I was reading it, I saw this symbol in 4 different places in like the span of like a couple weeks, and that's how I knew that Thomas Pynchon had broken through and was like, you know, some sort of mythical creature who could manipulate space-time to make this symbol appear for some reason at a fucking toll booth, like one of the, you know, the little basket that you throw the change in, carved into a wall, tattooed on the back of a girl's neck at a house show, and then where was the 4th one? I can't remember where the 4th one is, but it was like drawn on something with a marker, like
how long ago
in
was
some. This was like, you know, I was still living in the city. This was probably 10, 15 years ago, or whatever. I don't know, 10 to 12 years ago, I'll say.
So what's the pension book that symbol is from?
It's The Crying of Lot 49.
Oh.
And The Crying of Lot 49 is it's like confusing. I think it came out in 68. It either came out in 68 or 63. It was like right when people were starting to do acid, but it was like he wasn't. He was smoking a shitload of weed and just vibing.
I looked it up as 1966 when it came out.
That makes sense, because it's right before the acid stuff. Ever since then, I've been looking to find that symbol somewhere else, right? And, you know, it's because people are like, oh, it's just you were reading the book, so like this, you know, but the symbol's everywhere, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, dude, you understand. Ever since then, ever since I read the whole book and put it down, I have looked in nooks and crannies, everywhere I've gone since, I have not seen it in public once, and I saw it in public 4 times while I was reading the book. That doesn't make any sense. So anyway, about this t-shirt. That's it. I bought this t-shirt for somebody else who might be reading this book to be like, like some person's gonna come up to me and be like, why is it everywhere? And then walk away.
Enjoy while it lasts.
Yeah.